every woman should read these books.
I feel like Muse is that's like the beginner book.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially for boomers.
Yeah.
Boomer women.
Especially.
Yes.
This is what I'm...
Boomer women, go grab a copy of Muse.
What's that lady's name that writes it?
Amanda Hansen. Dr.
Yeah.
Amanda
Oh, yeah.
Hansen. That's why I'd like to talk about all things women today. I am, I guess, at a different age, obviously, and all my friends, I am going to refer this book to them because they all need to read this. I think one thing that I don't know, bothered by knowing what we're knowing, the power that we women hold.
Return home to yourself. This is your space to reconnect, to realign, and to embrace the fullness of who you are. Welcome to the Return Home podcast, where we're diving deep into all things womanhood. Unfiltered, honest, and empowering. Let's get into it.
You know, women are so, these days they've made it all about looks, and so women are getting Botox and fillers. We're so obsessed with staying young. I don't think I've ever struggled with that in my life. I have enjoyed getting older. Every age I turn, I don't ever have a problem. But I watch all my friends who are just struggling with their looks, their appearance. And, you know, now they're all so many women are taking those Ozempic shots because now we got to be skinny.
But then the same standard isn't set for men. Men can get fat, old, gray-haired. You know, bald. All of the things.
Bald. They can do it.
Yeah, there's no standard set on them. They start losing themselves when, especially, as men, we all do it in a marriage. Once you get comfortable, you start gaining a couple pounds. You start, you're not caring so much about all the little hairs everywhere, and you're not being a perfectionist. And if women start to do that, it's like, oh my gosh, you need to get yourself together because your husband's going to leave you. Right. And, you better lose that weight and, pluck that extra chin hair before he sees it. But then he's over here, I'm looking like, what just happened to you? And you're not concerned. Men can age, and what do they say when men get gray hair? They call them,
they look distinguished.
Where
we look old.
Gray fox or whatever they call them. And then I'm over here putting every color on my hair to make sure I don't see a single gray. And yeah, the standards are, they've been set. And unfortunately, I feel like for women, it seems like the bar has been set so high, but it's making us work at such a low vibration.
Yes.
Because we're having to constantly stress, constantly nitpick on what we look like. What are we going to wear? What are we going to say? What are we going to do? And none of us are being authentic at all.
And I think it's so funny. Well, this is where I come in. It's like, okay, well, one, men didn't put that standard on themselves. Men didn't create some standard that we have to look some type of way. We have to do this. We have to do that. Women created this for ourselves. And so this is a woman problem. We created this as women, and we're continuing the cycle. And so somebody has to come in. You have to change it for yourself. And secondly, I think it's so interesting that there's this rat race to look a certain way, have pretty hair, have bigger lips, and have this beautiful appearance. And what is that? That's that beautiful feminine woman. But really on the inside, they're actually very, very masculine. And so it's this hiding, let me on the outside look like I'm a true feminine woman and I'm beautiful. Yes. But on the inside, I have no flow. I have no serenity. I am controlling every part of my life, my husband, my children. I don't have any creative energy. I work like a dog. Mm-hmm. So it's like this mask. And so you can put as much Botox as you want in your lips. You can color your hair whatever you want. But really, if you haven't addressed the fact that you're still a fucking man on the inside, because you actually haven't addressed the deeper fucking root.
Right. Well, let's talk about the feminine movement, where I think is what has changed it all. A woman came in and decided that we should be equal. with the man. And yet, so we are basically,
Well, tell us why, because this was your generation. So, like, your generation came from a bunch of oppressed women that were getting beat, not taken care of. And, like, then your generation came in and was like, I actually have to fucking.
The first part of it goes back even further than your generation
Yes.
because we can say that the standards have been set by women. I think going forward now, yes, we do set more of like the trends and what's in style. Big butts were in style, now it's skinny butts. It's always something different based on, you know, maybe what men like and what girls try to adhere
well, it's
to.
Hollywood. Hollywood is a big part, I believe. We're watching TV all the time. We see magazines at the grocery store, and they've got these perfect bodies that we don't realize have been filled with Botox, butt implants, breast implants, and photoshopped. And
Oh, yeah.
that's who we want to look like.
Yeah.
And that's totally false.
Well, for sure. But I think the problem with or why that has happened is because back in the day, and I couldn't tell you when it started, but they did take women's power away. If you
Yes.
look at centuries and centuries ago,
Yep.
we had goddesses
Yes.
that ran the world. We had queens that ran the world, and they took all of that away. Why? Because women hold more power. We are more wise. We do have more of a creative streak. We have all of these capabilities that have been cut from us, and why? Because they introduced patriarchy. And unfortunately, we haven't found a good balance from that. Yes, there's a bunch of women that came in and said, fuck this. The men aren't going to control us. The men aren't going to, you know, be the ones in charge. They're not going to be the ones in power. So then they wanted to be equal to them.
And that's probably
No.
why the feminist movement started, because women were sick and tired
Yeah.
of being belittled and degraded
there was
by
a
men.
good start to that. The mindset behind feminism, you know, it starts off good. It's just where they direct it doesn't lead us to true feminine power.
Right.
It leads us to more suppression. That's all it is. And that's what they give us in everything. They give us, you want chocolate? Okay, they wrap shit in a Hershey's wrapper. That's all they give us all the time. They're never actually giving us a solution to the problem. They're just giving you more problems and letting you figure it out. So now instead of dealing with the patriarchy, we got the patriarchy and the feminism movement, and neither of them let you actually become a true woman.
Right.
Yeah, because what even is that?
Well,
You know,
that
we haven't-
exactly.
That's the question we have to
Now
ask.
you
Right.
have to find what power do we hold and how do we embrace that and then move it forward and implement it
How do
into
we
our
use it?
lives. And the first thing is changing your perspective. One, there is no set body standard to be beautiful.
No.
It first starts within your heart. Ladies, change your fucking mind. Change how you act. Kindness is the biggest turn on for anyone.
Anyone. Yes.
If you just come correct, people will do things for you. People will want to be around you. Your life will change if you become kind. If something happens to you and you react out of anger, frustration, and you try to react in those ways, you're not going to get what you want. No one's going to help you out. No one's going to try to take care of you. No one's going to try to solve your problem. No one's going to try to be there for you because you're mad.
Right.
Nobody wants to deal with someone that's
Nobody
mad.
wants to be around an angry person or a negative person. You know, I go out with my girlfriends and they'll sit there and talk about their Botox and they've got to get more Botox and got to go to the doctor for this. And they're all beautiful women. These are stunningly beautiful women. But you sit there and listen to them. They're so beaten down, so obsessed with keeping the wrinkles away, keeping the lips full. And I sit there and it's so sad.
Yeah, because it has to begin with a true inner confidence, a love for yourself.
Right.
Like, you can't be kind if you're not kind to yourself.
Yeah.
You can't love if you don't love yourself. And so finding that and building that container for you to embody all of that kindness, love, gentleness. You want respect. you want all these things. Like, be that for yourself. How do you talk to yourself? Like, you know, you talk, I'm a fat piece of shit. Okay, well, that's how people are gonna see you.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you have to create a container that loves yourself so that it doesn't fucking matter what anyone thinks about you or what, because you know what you believe about yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. So I have a friend who is very plain. She's not worried about makeup and fancy clothes, but she holds this posture and I don't want to say attitude, but attitude. You don't mess with her. And she's loved. And I love her because she is not what we call into herself. And she's just very plain Jane, but such an amazing person. And I think people are drawn to her because she is not sitting there going, oh, I had to go get more Botox. I know when I sit there with women who do that, it's very heartbreaking because you want to shake them and go, you're beautiful. Why are you doing all this?
Well, I think that's one of the, you know, saddest things to see in a woman is if they'd only realize that all of that they're talking about, nobody wants to hear about anyway. If it makes you feel better and if it can make you more of a kind person to get the Botox, get the fucking Botox.
Right.
But if you're going to sit around a circle and talk shit about yourself, everyone in that circle, everyone outside of that circle, the Botox ain't helping your heart. It ain't helping your looks because you're still ugly because of what you're speaking about. And everyone can tell who you are and how you think and what kind of energy you're bringing to the table when you're sitting there complaining about yourself. Nobody wants to hear that shit.
No.
Everyone has their own. Everyone's trying to figure out their own style, their own aging, what they're going to look like as they age. How are you going to act as you age? Everyone is in their own battles, let alone the world on top of that. There's always things going on in your life.
Always.
And so when you get around a bunch of girls or a group of women, the most fun that you're going to have is if everyone loves themselves and contributes to a positive energy.
Yep.
You don't want to go sit with a bunch of girls that have a bunch of low self-esteem and all we talk about is injecting our face. And I'm sorry, but most of that is done with too much excessiveness and you don't look the same at all. And I don't know if that's the look that you guys were going for.
Right.
So let's reel it back in because everyone is more beautiful without it. But again, if that's what helps you to be confident, go right ahead. But gain confidence.
Yes.
If you're getting injected all over and your confidence level hasn't gone up, let's try something new.
Yes.
Well, it's actually resolving the fucking trauma you've been through. Like,
Let's go back to
let's
that.
go to that. Let's not resort to coloring our hair and shoving our lips with more shit. Like, why don't you address where you lost your confidence? Who told you you were ugly?
Yeah.
When did your dad tell you that you weren't good enough? When did your mother tell you you weren't good enough? Like, why don't you go back to that shit and start pinpointing those moments? A lot of times it begins in grade school when our friends, mock us or make fun of us. And it's like, if we don't go back to the moments where we actually were hurt, or even our spouse, like not feeling fully accepted by our spouse. And a lot of times that can be your own perception. But yeah, like, let's really go into the shadow of what's inside instead of like, let me do something else. Let me, change my hair color. Yeah, there's nothing freaking wrong with that. Like, whatever you want to do to enhance your beauty. Like, I think that women are that. We're creative. We have that ability to create and to and let that light shine in us. But like, again, like makeup, what did it become? If you look at the influencers or whatever on makeup, it's like this full on mask that they put on where they don't even look the same anymore. And it's like, what about just wearing makeup to just enhance what you already have? And instead of like, oh, let me just mask everything so that nobody can see that actually underneath all of this, I have cystic acne, and I never actually addressed the conflict, the pain that's actually behind
Mm-hmm.
having cystic acne.
Yeah.
And so it just comes down to really actually doing some inner work as to where we lost our self-confidence, our self-love. And rather than seeking something else
Well,
outside of
here,
us.
and I'm sure a lot of women are going to ask this question. Okay, if you sit back and you can reflect on those things that have happened, what is your next move? See, I had to do that personally as I sat back over the last year and really evaluated things that have happened in my life. And I don't remember a lot. I blocked a lot of that stuff out probably, but so it was a little bit harder for me to really sit and pinpoint every little thing that has happened to me. So that's not required. But
Right.
going back and saying, you know what? I wasn't loved properly by, or to the best of everyone's ability as a child. Okay, you know what? That takes I can't figure out that entire childhood. I can't figure it all out. I can't solve every problem. We can't redo it all. So the first step to that is forgiveness. You're going to have to forgive whoever didn't love you enough and say, it's okay that you didn't. Now I will. And that's where you have to turn in and start loving yourself. And then you move on throughout. This is going to be, I think I said it before, this is going to be a daily decision to make when you wake up and you're learning new things about yourself. I just learned I had a communication problem. People have been telling me that I don't talk well, I don't listen, I don't explain myself good, for years, and I finally just realized that I have a communication problem. It's like every day you might discover something about yourself, and instead of being mad about it, instead of trying to cover it up and hide it,
Yep.
fix it.
Fix it.
And sometimes all that takes is realizing that this is the problem. It's not that I need lip injections. It's that I'm seeing everyone around me get something and I'm not being seen. Why do you want to be seen? What do you want to be seen for? You want to be seen for what's inside. What do you display? What can you offer to people that they want to be around you? They want to be your friend. They want to love you. Figure it out and because I think it's personally, what do you want to offer to others? What are the qualities that you offer to a friendship, to a relationship? And then hone in on those. What can I do to make those better? Stop being controlling, but be more creative. Communicate better so that you can have a better relationship. You have to learn to take those negative things that you've learned over the years and that have been taught to you or that you have been lacking. And when you give them to yourself, you're able to give them to the people around you.
We'll start learning that you're more than just your looks. There's more to us than just our looks. I think most women think we have to get by in this world by our appearance. That if we have wrinkles, somebody's not going to like us. If we're bald, nobody's going to like us. For 3 years, I shoved extensions in my thinning hair to hide so that nobody would think I was abnormal or I didn't look attractive. And the whole time, I'm sitting here the whole time fighting it because it's not who I am. I don't use Botox. I like my wrinkles. So to hide under a head of hair because I'm ashamed of the thinness was not being authentic. I found I was struggling more. I became more insecure, and I don't look at myself that way. I think where we go wrong is we have not built a community of women. When you get together with women, it's nice to be able to talk about positive things. Yeah, we're going to share our little problems and stuff, but to sit around a table and consistently talk about more Botox, more fillers.
No, I think the biggest problem, especially with your generation, I think it's going to be in every group of girls, but there's no truth being told.
That's it right there. Let's
Because
get down to the nitty gritty.
when it's just like I seen online the other day, someone said, now if my girl acts up in public, I'm not going to correct her in public, but you better bet that when we get in a room, I'm going to say, what the fuck is going on? You have to correct each other.
Yes.
That's what true friendship is.
Yep.
So it's just like when we sit around. If Bree starts getting down about herself or saying all these negative things, the first thing someone needs to say at that table is, hey, get it together. You got this to offer. You got this to offer. You got this to offer. I don't know why you're crying about that. Let's fix it together. What do you need? What are you lacking? What's the problem? You're beautiful.
But I'm going to tell you that it's not received well because I do.
Oh, it's not received
It's
well because
not.
it's
And
not
you
normal.
honestly, like I'm not going to stop, but like I realize how many people and how many friendships that actually don't want to be around me because I will call you out in a very respectful way, but like I have friends that will be in a relationship with some loser that really doesn't like them, and then you tell them like, hey, this guy's a loser, he doesn't care about you, and then it's not received, and then they actually like don't hang out with you, or they stop telling you things, and you lose that closeness because they feel judged, and they feel like, well, I can't tell Bree anything because she's not going to receive that. She'll call me out on it, and I don't want to be called out on it. And that's like, that's fine, but like for me, it's like, do I shut up? Do I stop telling my friends like, hey, you're worth more? Hey, you're better. Let me fix your fucking crown. Like, do I stop doing that for my friends? Or do I stay true in who I am? And obviously I'm going to stay true in who I am because I'm not going to let my friends not know that, hey, like that's stupid.
And that's honestly, I think, just like you said, you got to be true in who you are, because those friends, if they leave, then they weren't for you. But also, if they do stop telling you things, again,
Good. There's a
at
blessing.
least the conversation
Yes.
around the table
They
isn't
will
so
know.
But
damn
honestly,
negative.
I find myself so like it's like almost nothing to talk about.
Yes.
And
that's with
you
me.
almost
Yep.
have nothing to talk about because it's like, well, what else is going on in your life? What are you creating? What are you doing? What?
Yeah.
And there's almost nothing there where it's
Which
like,
is
okay,
why they're having the problems that they're having. Focus on something better. Focus on something greater. Like, especially, I feel like women your age, I mean, there probably are still, some are still working, but if they're not working, there's so many things. Like, find a hobby that excites you. I don't care if it's freaking
Yes.
going to help out at a dog shelter. Like, find things that freaking excite you, that make you happy. Like, where can you where can you give? We have so much to give, and we don't have to always be like, oh, if it's not making me money. No, what the hell is making you happy?
Right.
Find it.
I think your girls' age group is getting better at this, and then the age group below you girls are teaching because you're raising Sophia. These things, you girls asked after I went, shave my head off. My eyebrows are very thin because in the 80s that's what we did. And you asked, would you want to have your eyebrows microbladed? No, that isn't me. I'm comfortable with this, and learning to just be comfortable in our skin.
Yeah.
I remember my aunt taught me when I was so young, and it stayed with me, is beauty is inside. It's not the appearance. It's not, beauty is not outside. It is
well,
what's
I
inside.
think it does reflect is why that stuff doesn't resonate for you is because you're not an ugly woman. Like, look at you, like, sure, you got some thin eyebrows and bald head, but like, who could rock being bald? Like,
Yeah.
your wrinkles is like very minimal to where that is you have a beautiful inside and the outside reflected it. And so now you don't have to plummet Botox and the 10,000 skincare items every night because you focused more on maintaining a beautiful inside that the outside
Yes.
simply reflected it. And
I've seen some stunningly beautiful women in my time, and yet they had the worst attitude, and it made them look ugly. So it is, our heart shows our beauty, and that is by showing love and forgiveness and kindness. Yes, there's times when we have to rise up and take a stand for stuff and use our voice.
like
And
That's
absolutely,
part of, and
that's
that's the
it.
problem is
Yeah.
we, at our age, we've lost our voice. We have totally lost our voice from our childhood, from our marriages. We have been shut down. I have women call me all the time because they know that I will tell them the truth. So they'll ask me to meet them for dinner or something. And they'll say, I asked you out to dinner because I knew you would tell me what I needed to hear. And I didn't want to hear it, but I knew you would tell me it. In love. We're all in the same boat together. We're all trying to survive this world. But I think if we start learning to build communities with women who resonate, what's wrong with sitting at the table with your girlfriends and instead of talking about, wow, you've lost 10 pounds, you look great. Who cares if you're still 10 pounds over? You're beautiful. But why don't we talk about our hearts and our feelings and what are we doing to make this world a better place?
Yeah, because that's really where, people are paying thousands of dollars for a therapist because we've lost sisterhood. And it's like, and then they also are like, well, my husband doesn't talk to me about, and like, men aren't there to hear your
They
shit.
have
They
no
don't want
idea
to.
They
what
are
we're
not
going
supposed
through.
to. They're not
They
supposed
have
to.
no idea what we're going
No.
through.
And it's like we're supposed to be around our sisters like, hey, this is what I'm going through. I feel insecure about this. I feel rejection from my childhood. Our women around us are supposed to be the ones that have the encouragement, have the advice, have the wisdom of like, this is how I overcame it. And that's your therapist. But
Yes.
instead, we're sitting around talking about God knows what, and these empty, meaningless conversations rather than let's get to the
Let's
nitty
build
freaking
each other
gritty.
up. What happened to women? I am big about it. I am so big. I'm in the beauty business. So I have to build people up. But teaching women that there's a difference between self-love and selfishness. And we've discussed that. It is not selfish to take care of yourself, to love yourself, take time for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're sitting in the mirror putting all the makeup on to make you feel better, so be it. If that's what makes you feel better and makes you a better person when you walk out your door and you're going into work and you're going to show love, and when you walk in a room and life explodes from you. My mother was one of those people. When she walked in a room, the place lit up wherever she went. It could have been 7-Eleven. It could have been church. She touched the world because she smiled. What are we doing as women? We're so beaten down. We've allowed the world to beat us down. And we as women have to start learning to build women up.
And I think it's also a disconnection from our biology, our cycles. Like we've lost touch with the way our body actually works. Like think about our menstrual cycle. Like, I mean, a lot of women your age I've talked to that don't even know how their menstrual cycle works.
No.
And women that are on birth control because they didn't even know that they can only get pregnant like possibly 6 days of the month.
Right.
And our menstrual cycle is off. We don't even know when it's coming, and we've lost touch to our cyclical nature as women. We're bleeding from our wombs, and yet we're going to go and work all day and we're going to go lift 300 pounds at the gym, even though I'm bleeding from my womb. And then we wonder why our menstrual cycle doesn't come on time or whatever. We miss a bleed for 2 months straight. And it's like, we've lost touch with our menstrual cycle. And that's really where it begins, is really like coming back into that. And how does that actually operate? How can I move with the flow of my cycle? And that okay, so like I'll touch on it a little bit if I can. Is like our menstrual cycle is a time of rest. We don't have as much energy. It's time to rest, relax, don't work as hard. It's not like we're going to crumble and die because of we're bleeding, but it's also like prioritize some rest during that time.
Was preparing your body for pregnancy. So our bodies are made to reproduce, to have babies. So we've never been taught that. I am 55 years old and I've never been taught about my body. I've had to learn it.
Yeah, we're meant to procreate, but it doesn't always have to be children. It can be a new business. It can be jewelry. It can be knitting. It can be a new home interior design. Like, we don't have to just create babies.
Yeah.
We can create a lot
Yep.
because we are connected to literally source because we have a womb. And so don't be like, oh, I don't want babies. Like, that's fine. But you also can create other things. And so while you're on your menstrual cycle resting, that's where a lot of times I get a lot of my
Creative.
information. I get a lot of my insights. Like, I get my Instagram post, I get ideas for the podcast, I get ideas for a business, and I simply just write them down. It's not time to create it because I'm resting. And so I'm simply just having the time to journal, to write, and release. Also at the time of releasing. So what negative energy do you need to release?
What's coming up for you, and let it out.
Yes, what emotions
Why
are
do you
coming
think you
for?
cry so much during your period?
Yes, like release. And then now we're going to go into, because your menstrual cycle is a representation of your inner winter. So what do we do in winter? Rest more. Now we're going to go into our inner spring. So now everything's becoming more green. The flowers are perking back up and everything's starting to rise. So we're coming back to life again. So now we're getting more energy. Now we can do more, we can go outside more, we can play more, we can create more. All those ideas you had in winter can start coming to fruition.
Yeah.
Then you're going to come into your inner summer. Now it's game on. It's ovulation window, where now that thing that you were just creating up in your inner winter and inner spring, game on. Let's make it happen. Let's start the business. Let's start the knitting. Let's start whatever the fuck you're doing. Let me make an amazing meal for my family because I'm peak energy. Let's do it. Like, and then you're going to go into your inner fall. And now your energy is winding down a little bit. You're going to start getting a lot of shit. This is where everyone thinks we're fucking crazy as women, because you're going to start getting a lot of stuff that's coming up for you where it's like, I don't fuck with this. I don't fuck with that. You're pissing me off. And this is where, people think that we're nuts, but it's actually a time of evaluating, why is this coming up for me? Why am I pissed off?
We got to take a yearly purge, I think.
Yes.
Or a monthly purge.
A monthly purge. And
People
yeah,
that need
it's
to
like,
go.
we can, we don't have to be crazy, but I mean, a lot of times it just is, and we can embrace that. And honestly, even changing our words around that, like, oh, my crazy's coming out. Like, no, it's like, let's really see, why is this frustrating me about my partner, about my children, about my life?
Yeah.
And then our menstrual cycle comes up, and then it's the release. And we start over again. So then we move into that cyclical nature of the feminine. Instead, we have lost touch with that. And men are representation of the sun.
The patriarchy.
Here we go. Let's just be like men. Let's live on a 24-hour cycle, even though women are on a 28-day cycle.
Right. Yeah.
We are different. And if we don't honor that, we have burnout, we have exhaustion, we're pissed off, our menstrual cycles are fucked up, we're infertile. What else? And infertile doesn't just mean babies.
No.
What are you not creating?
Yeah.
What if God designed our period to restore our superpowers once a month? Because we are women, we are busy. We are taking care of children, cleaning houses, we're doing those things. And once a month, we need to recharge. And maybe that's God's way of saying you need to rest. Yes, it's for our ovulation. But I was just thinking that as we're talking, maybe that is when we do take a week and rest and let our batteries recharge so we can go into that fight mode where when we have to do our fighting and where we create. And God is talking to us and new creations begin. Things I know sometimes when I'm just resting, I know that my mind will go, I want to accomplish this. I want to do this. So it might be a recharge of our superpower.
Yeah. And what do we need most at that time? Community.
Yes.
Like if you do have a busy life and you have children and you have all this stuff, but you're bleeding, it's like, well, I can't stop because I have kids. It's like, well, where's your community that's like, hey, I'm bleeding. I need rest. I need help.
Yeah.
And call upon it. Call upon your sisters. Call upon your friends.
That's when your
and
friends
family.
are there. That's why you have friends.
And,
And that's why we need it.
Yeah.
I always
Like
taught you
it's
girls.
a need, a necessity for a
Yeah.
woman to have support because not because our menstrual cycle is just some doom and gloom and that it's the most worst thing ever. Like I can't freaking stand, especially your generation that's like, oh, I couldn't wait to get a freaking hysterectomy because my periods were so messed up. And it's like, oh yeah, your most sacred organ couldn't wait to get rid of because you actually never addressed why your menstrual cycle was so messed up. And so like I do not wish my period away. It is my superpower.
We all just want to get rid of our periods. If women would
We don't honor
understand
them.
what a period represents. I had a client yesterday tell me she had a hysterectomy and it saved her life.
Yeah.
And I just,
Well, and if we would start to flow with the seasons of our period, one, you will age slower because you're going to be moving slower. You will lose weight because you will be actually functioning properly with the cycle of the moon. So you would actually won't be carrying a lot of the excessive weight. Now you might have to do some extra measures for that, but you will start seeing that everything in your life starts to flow better. You're happier, you're more creative. All of these things are moving in the order that they're supposed to because you slowed the fuck down
yes.
and worked at the regular pace of a woman, not a man.
Mm-hmm. And again, I mean, come back to what does society teach women from the start? When we have menstrual problems, we have heavy periods and our debilitating menstrual cycles. It's like, what do we teach? Get on birth control. I mean, what age was I when they put me on birth control? 14 years old because I had irregular periods.
Yep.
And they don't have an answer.
And didn't you have a side effect from that? And I was like, was it you?
The side effect was that I was freaking like 180 pounds at 16 years old. I gained a bunch of weight. It never solved my problem. I mean, who even knows?
Well, you know, women don't want to deal with the bloating, the pain, the cramps, the bleeding.
Yeah, no one wants
They don't want to deal with that.
Shit,
but if they learn to rest during that time, you would be okay with that. And to understand that is part of the process. We are supposed to rest and think about our life, but we want to shut it off. It's an annoyance. I'm blessed. I had wonderful periods. I never had a problem ever. 3 days, no cramps. I was very lucky. But for those women who are suffering with their periods, I get it's miserable. Mm-hmm. But if you go rest, pray, soothe yourself.
Well, let's talk about the deep-rooted issues. Is from a German New Medicine standpoint, let's look at the relationship with the father. Let's look at the relationship with my partner. Let's look, do I feel safe to rest? Do I feel safe to be a woman in this life? Well, when you don't have a father that's protecting you, you don't have a husband that's protecting you, you have to fend for yourself. You have to do it all on your own. You have a relationship where you're at war with each other. Like these are the deep-rooted issues that cause us to have painful menstrual cycles or heavy periods. That's what we have to look at. What is our relationship with the masculine? And it shows up in our flow.
Is it because our nervous system is so fucked up?
Well, no.
Because
our nervous system adapts to our conflicts in life, to our stress. So your nervous system there's no such thing as a fucked up nervous system. Your nervous system is adapting to what you put it through. So if you're having a conflict with your husband, your nervous system's going to fight or flight. So let's look at what your situation is. Did you have a really shitty fight with your husband? Right. Did your father hurt you?
Well, again, and you don't have time to think about it if you don't sit down and rest.
Right.
You cannot solve any issues while you're in fight or flight during the time of the fight. You're not fixing anything in that moment. You have to turn around, and when you have time, you need to make time to rest and reflect on all of those things that are causing you issues. Stop masking them with a pill. Stop masking them with whatever it is that you're trying to hide, and really dig deep and find what is the problem. But the biggest problem with that is that most women don't even know how to sit down and realize the problem. They're like, oh, it's just my life. It's just my life. I have to just keep going and going. It's like, no, sit down. It's okay to remove people and things and whatever it is out of your life that are not needed, that are causing you these issues. And yeah, some women work. Obviously, you can't take a week off of work every month for your period. I get that. But how can you slow down at work? Maybe this week isn't the week to get everything done on time.
Yep.
Look at everyone around you. Nobody gets shit done on time. So it's okay this week to step back and give yourself some slow. Yep, sorry, I didn't get everything done this week. It'll have to wait till next week when I have the energy for it.
And if more women started doing this, the fucking world will adapt.
The world
Because
will
if we
change.
constantly are like, oh, I have to keep up, even though I'm bleeding from my womb and I'm aching in pain, like, we don't actually ask or tell that, hey, I'm going to actually not be able to complete all my tasks at work this week because I am on my menstrual cycle. And if more women were saying that, maybe the patriarchy, the men that own the businesses, or whoever the fuck owns your job, will actually honor women during that time. And it's like,
Well,
if
they'll
we
be
don't,
forced to, because it's either do that
you're
or fire
forced to,
me.
because it's like, if only one woman is struggling and is willing to say it, then they don't care. But if every woman in the office was like, hey, like, I am on my cycle this week, so I'm gonna be a little, less productive this week. And so let's honor that. But a lot of times, what do? We don't even talk about our cycle. We can't even say it. Men are uncomfortable that we even talked about the blood that's coming from us, but they will watch war movies. And I mean,
Blood
we
and
just
guts.
started watching Game of Thrones, and it's like, what the fuck is that? Bloodshed everywhere. But it's like, oh, I talk about my menstrual cycle, and they can't even look you in the eyes. And it's like, no, we're gonna talk about the blood. And I'm taking a break
because
this
the whole
month.
point of what's going on in society is nothing's going to change until women start standing up and making this world fit them instead of us trying to fit the world.
My age group, most women in my age group, their mothers did not talk to them about periods. And they obviously, I don't know where it went wrong. I don't think my mother's mother talked to her about this.
Never did.
So when did it stop? When did this become abnormal? When did a period become a problem or a subject we shouldn't talk about?
Americans started the patriarchy.
Yes.
Let's go back.
It's not just Americans. It's freaking everywhere. It's
everywhere, but
really
it's
women
definitely
predominantly in
way
America.
worse. It's way worse.
Look at
here.
other countries.
There's still tribes in Africa that they do rituals and ceremonies that go along with this. There are groups in all around the country, Indians that are still around. They all have different rituals that go with the woman's menstrual cycle. Unfortunately, and no, I'm not, it is in other cultures too, but America has been so dumbed down that it has only revolved around men and what they do and how they operate. And now we got the feminists saying, oh, we can do that too. Oh, you can do it, we'll do it too.
And that's the problem.
We'll take birth control and we'll just do it.
And we'll just keep working 24/7 until
we're
to prove ourselves.
Wrinkled
I'm
and
sorry,
fat and so exhausted mentally, physically. We are called crazy because we have worked ourselves to death. We're frazzled. We can't take care of our home life. We're exhausted.
Yeah, and then they're all looking at us like, oh, why can't you do it all? it's impossible.
If we could look at our
If men
period,
had to live the way we had to
Oh
live,
my
the world
goodness.
would change instantly because they would immediately be like, we can't do this. You see what happens when men get sick.
And we can't do what they do.
No.
That's what
Like,
that's what needs to
clearly,
change.
Exactly.
clearly we can't do what they do. Like I don't have the stamina to keep up. Like I couldn't for once, like a week work at Tony's job. Like there's no way I could do that. And so I honor that. Like,
Yeah.
thank you, honey. But yeah, I got to rest this week because I'm bleeding.
Yeah.
And the men should allow that. But society has changed. If men would allow us women to rest.
No, men don't have to allow shit. You gotta say it.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
yes, yes.
it's
You do.
They
women.
will allow
It's
you to
on
do what
the
you want, but you
women.
didn't ask for it.
It's on the women. Men are only going to be doing what they're taught, and unless you teach them differently, I'm
Right.
sorry, but again, this goes back to, well, if you want to date me and marry me, then these are the things that are going to be done. On week 1 of menstrual cycle, I will be resting. I will not be doing all of these things. I may still cook a little bit. I may still clean a bit. I'll do whatever I can do, but here's how it's going to operate. Men would not think women are so crazy if they understood that we are this way this week, this way this week, lots of energy this week, and then back to normal this week. Men are like, oh, they're just so crazy. They're all over the place. Yes,
Yeah, we are.
we are. Get fucking used to it or deal with a psychopath. It's totally up to you. But on these days of the week or the days of the month, this is how I operate. And that's how it flows. And if things don't get done, I'm sorry. If he's mad and bitching and whatever, sorry, you can't take on his feelings.
No, walk away.
Yep. Those are your problems because
Walk away.
yeah,
I'm not going to listen to it.
those are your problems. I'm not gonna be mad that I didn't do
But
nothing.
honestly,
If
I
you're
don't
mad,
even really feel like it comes down
most
to men actually
aren't
being
gonna
mad
be
about
mad.
it. I feel like it comes down to women's worthiness, and it's like if I don't do, if I don't be, or literally if I don't do, because we always
Right.
feel the need to do,
We do. Yeah.
be a performer. I have to do to be good enough.
Yep.
And when we get that thought out of our mind, and it's like, actually, I can't do. Like,
Women need to learn their worth. What is your value? It's not your job. It's what is it to you?
And it's gonna be something different for
For
everybody.
every woman, it's different.
and it could be different every month.
Uh,
Who cares?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
your desires,
It's
your
literally-
wants, everything can change month by month. What comes up, but that's literally your superpower. It's okay to be changing and fluctuating and getting different ideas. And like, okay, 1 month I want to go and paint, so I want to go and buy a bunch of crafts to paint, and then the next month I actually don't want to paint anymore. Who cares? You created something because that is
We are
women. We
creative.
are
Mhm.
creative beings.
Yes.
Flow with it and let your desires come forth, and you'll actually realize that I mean, I just talked to a woman who she makes she knits, and she makes like bunnies and whatever out of like, knitting. She goes and sets up a farm at a farmer's market. She made $1,500 in one day on her knitting products.
Wow.
And so that's really, like, we think that we actually have to go work for corporations
No.
and all this stuff and make what, $20, $30, $40 tops hourly. And it's like, no, actually, your desires, your creativity can actually turn into a business that makes you so much money you didn't even fathom it.
Yep.
It's just about actually tapping into who you are, your desires, your wants. Go for it.
Yep.
We're capable.
Well, I don't think we're meant to work a 9-to-5 job at a corporation.
Well,
It
our
was to
body
use our-
tells us that we're not
We're not.
supposed to.
We are creative beings, and we are to use our creativity to help bring income. I feel like I was very fortunate to become a hairdresser. I've been able to work at home and work my own hours, raise my family.
Mm-hmm.
That's a blessing.
And like I started doing, well, before I quit, but like when I was on my menstrual cycle, no, I'm working either half the work or no work. Like if you own your own which most women are. They have their own studios. They have their own. They rent a chair. Like, you are in charge.
Yep.
And so, like, find a business that can work around that, where you do create your own hours. And yeah,
You have to have the ability to trust yourself and to know that if you start to flow the way that you're supposed to and be creative and follow the guidelines of your body and actually operate in a feminine state, what is needed will come. I've watched tons of girls over the last few years quit their 9 to 5s, go into something that their husbands were like, oh, great, it's probably going to make us, a couple $100 a month. And now these women are owning businesses that make tons of money. They're helping other women create businesses. I know tons of my friends that now all own salons, studios, and all these things, and they're making more money than their husbands at times because they trusted themselves and their intuition and their ability to create something so beautiful that can put them in the state that they need to be, where they're not stressed, they're not over functioning, and they're actually doing what they need to do to be able to have their time for rest, be able to set their schedule, be able to call off when they want. And hey, today, I'm sorry, ladies, these afternoon appointments just aren't fitting with me. You're gonna have to come tomorrow afternoon because today I'm relaxing. And whatever it may be, we do that with each other here. Hey, this time would be better, or no time at all, we're canceling this week. But being able to fluctuate your schedule is so important for women, because we have to be able to do that. Our bodies are meant to fluctuate. Every day is supposed to be something different. And I know that's hard for a lot of women. And if the 9 to 5, there's some women out there that they love their 9 to 5 and they're doing their jobs that they actually love, keep doing it. But again, do what makes you happy.
Right. Well, I noticed as I said to you girls, every 5 years we're different. We are growing, evolving, changing about every 5 years. And if men understood that, they wouldn't look at us and go, oh, they're crazy. We do change the things we like.
honestly,
our
I change
taste.
every year.
I was gonna say, I feel like
I think
every
Every 5 minutes,
yeah,
I feel sometimes. But
I think everybody is or should be like. Should we?
if
learn
you're not
so
changing, you're not
much?
evolving. You're not growing.
No shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're stagnant,
Yeah.
you're still working the 9 to 5 job. You come home, you cook, and then you go lay in your bed and watch TV or read a book or do a crossword puzzle. You're not feeling good about yourself. I know many women who are, they go to work, they come home, and they don't even want to be with their husband, and then to even have sex. Most couples at my age, I find, are sleeping separately. I can't even fathom that.
Yeah, we have to get back in tune with
Yeah.
ourselves, our bodies, our enjoyment. I mean, you have to slow down and really, it's like you find all the things that can be done that can make life perfect, but then you do all those things, and then you just come up with a whole new list of what can make life perfect. Stop and enjoy damn life for a second.
Yes.
Stop trying to make it perfect. It's never going to be perfect. Enjoy what is happening right now and do with it as you must. Adapt, change, get rid of things, add things, whatever you need to do. But until you find what makes you happy, you won't be able to do that.
And creating happiness in the tasks that we have to do. Like,
yes.
it's changing our attitude about everything. Like, make doing dishes the most amazing ecstasy experience there is. Like,
Yeah.
turn on some music
Right.
and let pleasure flow through your body. Because what I love is how, like, we're like, oh, I can't sleep until the dishes go away. But then it's like, then you're doing the dishes and then you're mad that you have to do the dishes. It's like, okay, well, let's make enjoyment out of everything. Let's going for a walk, going to the gym, whatever the heck, doing dishes, doing laundry. I know, like, I found myself really complaining about laundry. And I started singing a positive song while I folded. I made it up. I can't sing for shit, but I'm singing gratitude for this laundry because it was the only way that this was going to be fun for me.
Yeah.
And so finding enjoyment out of everything that we do will make life so much better. Like, instead of complaining, instead of whining and crying about all the things, like, just simply make every part of your daily life joy and gratitude, and everything is going to flow into that. Like, your life will be joy and gratitude.
Yeah. Yep. Your days at work, your days doing whatever you have to do will all be more positive if you embrace it with a positive attitude.
Because we're, and that's the thing too, is that you're choosing whatever negative experience that you are feeling at the moment. Like, oh, I gotta work today. You're choosing that.
Right.
Yeah.
So find enjoyment in it.
Yeah.
You don't want to do dishes? You're still choosing to do the dishes, so you better find enjoyment in it.
Yeah,
So, like,
Right.
we are choosing the misery, so let's just not make it misery. Let's just make it a great
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
And literally, anything you do with a little bit of music on
Yeah.
is
I was
gonna,
gonna say,
like,
Oh, it'll make it
dance
so
a
much
little
better.
bit.
Yes.
You know, let just life flow through your body instead of bitterness,
Yep.
complaint, and unhappiness.
yes, because women's biggest power is joy. We bring that life, just like you
Mhm.
said, we bring that life to the table. So it's like, do it in everything. And if there's something that doesn't bring you joy at all, then you're gonna have to figure out how to eliminate it or figure out how
Figure
to
out,
make
be
it
happy about it.
joyful. Because
Mhm.
yeah, no, it's not fun doing some of the tasks around the house, but I'll blast the music and, you know, catch me vacuuming. I might not have pants on, so be careful coming in.
Right.
But that's what makes me happy. Do whatever you got to do and make it fun, because
Mhm.
this life has so many miserable things that can pop up if we don't put joy in, or try to put joy in every aspect of it. It's like us building the shed the other day. We had to redo it a million times.
Yeah.
If we could have quit over and over and over again, but instead we just smoked a joint and laughed and
Yep.
figured out what the next step was and how we could fix it and move on. But if you're just gonna get frustrated, and it's never gonna end well if you just wallow in what's bad, what's negative, what went sideways. It's never gonna end.
Women, I think, need to learn, and since I've been learning, is the feminine and masculine side of us. I'm learning that there's some things I shouldn't be doing, even though I can. Even if it's a 50-pound box I got to carry downstairs, I can do that. But I'm choosing not to do that anymore because that is not making me feminine.
Well, again, if you're doing the things that make you happy, you won't be doing the masculine things.
But you're right. This is where us women now we are in the 20th century. Start realizing we don't have to do these things. We don't. We can say, no, I'm not going to pick up that box.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, it's like, I'm not going to define what's masculine and feminine for people. Like, figure it out. What do you want to do?
Yeah,
You
do
know,
what you want to
'cause-
do. It's okay
and it's
if the box has
okay
been sitting
to,
there for an hour and you don't like it, take it
Then pick it up and
downstairs.
do it.
But if it's
Yes.
gonna piss you off to do it, then fucking leave it.
Leave it so
yeah,
he
like,
can do it.
I really
Make a
feel like
choice.
it's not
There's
something
not a
to
set.
define.
Yeah.
It's about listen to your body. And it's okay that we're both. Like, I don't want to get anybody
I agree.
twisted
We
here.
should be both.
It's okay that we have these traits of both, but yeah, like, listening to our bodies. Like, are you burnt out? Are you exhausted? Are you in pain? Is your menstrual cycle debilitating? Like, listen to the signals of your body and adjust as needed. And so I'm not here to define these roles for anybody. What does your body define as masculine and feminine? Define it yourself, because I'm not putting words in anybody's, or put it, I'm not defining this for people.
Yeah,
because
to know your
all the
body.
women will be telling their houses, Bree told us we can't do this.
yeah, like I'm not defining this for people. This, and I also don't want the heat on, like, I know for me what I think is feminine and what is masculine, and I will abide by that in my own world. So like, do that for yourself, but actually decide for yourself what that is. And, a lot of times, for women that are alone, I had to be fully in my masculine to operate. So it's like, the only way I'm going to survive on my own is to be fully in my masculine. I still had feminine traits. I didn't lose that side of myself. And then when I found my partner who allowed me to fully embrace my feminine, then it was a unlearning of all the things that I had become. And he had to love me through that and love me through my softening, because at first it was like, no, I'll do everything on my own. And so it's just define it for yourself. I'm not labeling anything. Everybody knows what's fucking masculine and feminine. Go figure it out. Serenity is the biggest word, and that means peace and flow.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And evaluate when you lost it.
Yes.
Like, I know a lot of women, and I used to be this, was like the big thing of I can't sit down till everything's done. And then that's why I became that. That's probably why you became that. And that you probably became that because somebody taught you. And it was like, I understand that a lot, our nervous systems need that cleanliness or need things to just feel done so that we can rest. But what if we didn't? What if our nervous system could still be at peace when there was dishes in the sink or when things weren't tidied up? Like, create that for yourself to where it's okay. Like, that's what, to me, femininity is. It's like, I can still flow. I can still be at peace with life, and my dishes are piled up in that sink because I'll get to it when I can. But right now, I want to rest. I want to watch the movie that everybody else is watching, or I want to sit down with my husband and relax for the night. And it's like, choose whatever it is for you, but create a container of serenity for yourself despite what's going on around you.
All the chaos, yeah.
Because chaos isn't going to stop. Homes are always going to be a mess. Life is always going to be wild out there. But if you can create that container of peace for yourself despite whatever anything else looks like, that's fucking femininity to me.
Yeah, completely.
Yes. We're all just finding our way back to ourselves, one honest conversation at a time. Catch you next time on the Return Home